Hey girls, hey. Hey boys, hey. It's Mama Beauty's here. Welcome back to my channel. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. If you are just a regular, thank you so much for staying. I see that once I made my last video, I lost a couple of subscribers, but it's okay because we're not here for numbers, you guys. We're here for a community. We're here to be safe. We're here to make friends. We're here to look out for one another. And so it never was about growing my channel to me. It never was. It was always about a community and being able to talk to grown-ups about this case and being able to have people to talk to, because everybody gets busy in their everyday life, and I understand that 100%. So it's just good to have a community where I can come to and we all can just be here for each other. So plus this discovery, you guys, is very important to this case because a lot of people say things are in the discovery that are not. And so how can we filter between fact and fiction when we don't really know? So there's 1,980 pages of discovery, and so we're going to read them here, and everyone will always have a place to come reference them. No, nothing happened, girl. I just had to put my people in check because everybody was reaching out to me trying to get me to cover certain topics, and they were just I don't know how to word it without hurting anybody's feelings, so I don't even want to go over it anymore. Who cares? It's over. It's done with. I did want to warn everyone, though, that I don't give timeouts, that I just block. And if you are somebody that is negative all the time, just 24/7, you never have anything happy to say, then unfortunately I'm going to have to block you too. So just keep that in mind. Keep the chat uplifting and be here for one another. And remember, when we're talking about discovery, keep the chat about discovery. I don't care if you communicate between each other, but let's just keep it light and uplifting in the chat. If you want to share your emails with one another so you can get deeper into those things, by all means do so. If you need a friend, by all means, email me. My email is always open to you guys. And if you need a platform to share or get advice, my platform is always open for you as well. If you just don't want to address the community, then you can put it in a letter and I can read it to the subscribers anonymously, and you can just be hiding in the chat and hear what people have to say. So there's lots of ways to go about it. It's not that I don't want to hear your story. It's just, let's not get off topic. And when I'm doing a pop-up shop, you guys, please, if you aren't interested in purchasing from the pop-up shop, just don't watch that video. There's not going to be anything there except for what I'm selling. And so I want to keep that on topic as well whenever I'm doing a pop-up shop, which I will be doing on Friday of this week. I will be doing another pop-up shop for you guys, and I'll get everybody's stuff out in the mail on Monday because it's taking 4 to 5 days to get it to you instead of 2 to 3. So we want to make sure that we get that stuff to you before Christmas. So I'll do my last pop-up shop before Christmas on Friday of this week. So today's the 10th because it's my son's birthday, Tuesday. So the 11th is Wednesday, 12th. So Friday the 13th. Ooh, I didn't know that. It's Friday the 13th on Friday, you guys. So I'll be doing a pop-up shop on Friday the 13th. And what's a pop-up shop? It's where I show you all my inventory that I have of my $5 nail packs and my $3 handmade jewelry. That is what that is. So moving along, we did not get to have Monday Mama meeting last night where we just get to chat and unload on each other. And we are not going to get to have it tonight because I'm reading Discovery, but I will do that tomorrow. The reason why I'm not going to come back and do it tonight is because of this book came. And I am going to be sucked in this book all night long. I'm probably going to read it until I fall asleep and then wake up and read it some more until I fall asleep and can continue the routine. I wanted to read the back of it to you so you guys can decide if you want to go on Amazon and purchase it. I believe it's $15.99 for paperback, and it comes in 2 days if you have Amazon Prime. So, I am going to cancel tonight's Monday Mama meeting, but you guys have to understand, right? Because this book came and I'm so intrigued. And when I watched her on Scott Reich's channel, she said that they use this mental illness Bible called the DSM-5, and that she used that to help get into Chris's psyche and stuff. And so I got that book as well, so we can kind of cross-reference it from what she's saying, just in case, because we don't just want to believe what authors tell us, right? Or we'll be in the situation where we believed everything that Cato said. So anyway, let's get to discovery. We're on page 617. Oh, Melinda, you got the book. That's great. That is awesome. So anyone that doesn't have the book, then you can go to Amazon and get it, and we can all read it together, and then I can do a live just exactly about the book whenever we're done. I am going to cover it. I probably won't cover it like Cato's book chapter by chapter. I'll do like a video of chapter 1 through 4. And just give you guys the highlights, because I do want you to buy the book and read it yourself, because it's actually a professional that wrote this book. But the jury is still out because I haven't read it. And it says is it a prologue? What is this called on the back here, you guys? What's that called? Yes, it's available on audiobook today, BS. It was available for audiobook today. Yes, ma'am. And you can get the link for it if you go to Scott Reich's channel. And the interview he did with Lena, they're saying her name is not Lena, it's Lena. So Lena Durali, I hope I didn't say her last name wrong. But anyway, she is on Scott Reich's channel. And the link for the Amazon book is underneath in that video. Scott is really good at that. All right, so it says, let me get my glasses. Before we read Discovery, I just wanted to tell you guys the description of the book. Chris Watts was a family man, and everybody, including his family, believed that. Yet on August 13th, 2018, he murdered Shanann, his pregnant wife, and 2 young daughters, burying Shanann and their unborn son in a shallow grave and dumping their daughters' bodies in separate oil tanks. As terrible as his story is, it is also a warning, because this day, living behind bars, Watts is still acting out the character traits that made him kill in the first place. In this, the first and only psychological exploration of the Watts family murders, psychotherapist Lena Durali has pieced together the crime, the events leading to it, and most of all, her beliefs about the why, including the fact that Chris Watts, now a self-described man of God, is not in the least remorseful about killing his family. Using police discovery and other sources, Durali recreates the night of the murders and the investigation that followed. She explores the childhoods, families of origin, meeting, and early relationship of Shanann and Chris Watts. She also examines Watts' double life and the duplicity regarding his well-publicized affair with a co-worker who, although she claimed their affair was casual, was searching online for wedding dresses at the time of the murders. The book includes an in-depth look at community psychopaths, the different subtypes of narcissism, how to prevent this type of violence, and interviews with a neuroscientist, a criminal psychologist, and a journalist in order to determine what in Watts' twisted makeup allowed him to hide who he really is for so long. Using her knowledge of attachment theory, imago relationship theory, and psychopathology, Durhally draws a profile of the real Chris Watts, and just as important, she warns readers that he's still a danger today. So she's right. Those people writing him, man, you guys just don't know what you're messing with when you're writing him. That's why I'm not ever going to write him. I had some of my subscribers tell me to do it. No, 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 no. He still is an evil man. He still is the man that murdered his wife and his own children and his unborn child. I absolutely do not think he is reformed because he's not showing any remorse whatsoever. The descriptive details that he's giving to shame Shanann one last time beyond her death is disgusting. So, moving on, the first half of it's very readable translation of multiple parts of Discovery. It's pieces all of the interviews, dates together in real time, which is pretty eye-opening. Woo, Melinda, you're making me want to get off here right now and read the book. Stop it, young lady. I need to read some Discovery before I do that. You're already halfway through. Yes, it is very interesting. Hey, Brandy. Hey, AJ, aka Audrey. And everybody. I can't wait to see some eye-opening stuff. My birthday is tomorrow. Oh, cool. Your birthday's the day after my son's. All right. I was just checking out chat, y'all. Chat, y'all. Chat, y'all. All right. So, page 617 of the Chris Watts Discovery. We're talking about the interview with Nicole when she brought in her phone. I questioned NK about mentioning the children and, oh, I already read that. Okay. Charlotte's father died on August 22nd, and Charlotte and NK had another conversation regarding Chris Watts. NK asked Charlotte to not speak with the media. She said that they did not specifically discuss Watts or this case. Charlotte's phone number is blah, blah, blah. All right. When Chris returned from North Carolina in August 2018, he and NK spoke by phone. Chris told NK that Shanann was preparing to finalize their divorce and Shanann had called a realtor to find a new place to live. NK said she helped Chris look for an apartment for himself. She recalled finding an apartment in Brighton, Colorado that fits his needs, and Chris was gung-ho about the possibilities of the new apartment. On Saturday, August 11th, which was my daughter's 18th birthday, by the way, on Saturday, August 11th, Chris and NK again discussed the apartment, and Chris did not seem interested. NK thought that Chris may have already known something I didn't. She said his mood had changed from their prior conversation about the apartment. NK further stated she and Chris discussed how he could cut costs when moving into a new apartment. NK said Chris is an avid football fan and loves to watch the games. She said he talked about cutting costs by getting rid of cable and using an Amazon Fire Stick. She said an unknown friend was working on this for Chris. She said after this conversation, she felt like he was planning or leaving his house and moving into an apartment. Hold on, Gage just walked in. What, honey? What do you need? Okay, go grab a Yoo-hoo. They're in the bottom shelf. Yes, I love that we're all doing it together. This is actually a sweatsuit, Helen, not PJs. It's a little sweatsuit. Whoop, whoop. It looks like PJs though, but it's a sweatsuit. I put my sweatsuit on. I always put a sweatsuit on when I'm going to read a book. When I'm going to curl up on the couch and read a book, I get out, I bust out the sweatpants. And I buy Victoria's Secret sweatpants just because they last for years and years and years, and you can wash them repeatedly and they still last. And I always get them on clearance. These were on the clearance section of Victoria's Secrets when I bought them. I never, ever, ever buy anything from Victoria's Secrets on original price because they want way too much. I paid half of what original price was. So, did you get it, Gage? Did you get taken care of, buddy? All right, let me go get him a drink, y'all, and then I'll be back to finish. I don't want him to hear this. Love you. Oh, I forgot to lock that door. I forgot to lock the door. Okay. So Amazon's got the book. Oh, me, you, Leah, and Melinda, I think so far. I'm not sure. I think, oh, I forgot her name. There's another lady that I'm friends with on Facebook, Mo. She has it too. Who else has the book? You guys, My Daddy is a Hero. Leah wants to know. Melinda got hers Friday. Leah got hers yesterday. Oh, I thought you got yours yesterday, Leah. My bad. Anyway, let's finish up so I can get to that book. NK talked about a phone conversation she had with Chris prior to him leaving for North Carolina. During the conversation, she said she tried to convince Chris to fix his relationship with Shanann. She said she tried to convince him to fix the relationship before pursuing her. NK said she wanted to know Chris had done what he could do to repair his relationship prior to her coming into his life. Yeah, right. NK said she felt it was fast that Shanann called a realtor when she got home from North Carolina, and Chris reported she was done. She said Chris had initially dragged his feet about selling the house, and it surprised her that when they came home from North Carolina, she was immediately ready to sell the home. NK again discussed looking for apartments with Watts and recalled during their date on August 11th, Watts was reluctant to go look at apartments. NK said Watts had previously planned to look at apartments with her during the week of August 13th, and now he did not seem interested in doing so. Watts told NK he had found a few apartments, but none made him excited. She recalled one of the apartments Watt told her about was $1,200 a month and was a 2-bedroom, and she asked Chris the name, as she believed she would have seen it in her research, and he did not know the name of the apartment. NK recalled that Watts was unplugged during their date on Saturday, August 11th. Unplugged, huh? Hello, Mommy Lisa. Nicole recalls 2 friends of Watts, Nick and Mark. She does not know their last names. NK and I discussed her employment, and she stated she was fired on August 22nd from Tasman Geosciences. She reported she was a contract employee with Anadarko Petroleum through Tasman, and Anadarko had canceled her contract, so Tasman in turn fired her. NK provided me with a thumb drive which contained her cell phone call logs from July 14th through August 13th. She received the call log from her phone provider, Verizon, and provided me with a copy. She attached the log for further. Why only 1 month? Why did she only give them call logs from July 14th? She even admitted herself that they were dating before that. During the meeting with NK, CBI victim advocate Hazel Heckers spoke with NK for a short period of time. After this conversation, NK inquired with me about how to change her name. I gave her cursory information on how to do so. NK apologized for deleting the text messages and phone log between she and Watts. She admits to being very worried about the information being lost. I spoke with NK about her deleting the messages and told her there are no criminal charges against her. I again spoke with NK about the text messages conversation she had with Charlotte Nelson. I specifically asked what she meant by his children making her uncomfortable. NK said she wants her own family. She said she never said anything to him about his wife or children being a problem. She never said to him his kids were an issue. She said she was thinking about building her own life and that he already had a life. She said she never said anything about kids damaging their relationship. She said there was never a conversation with Watts that he may have thought she was making a reference to Shanann or his children being a problem. NK said she was 100% committed to Watts at this time, but was not sure if he was the man she wanted to spend the rest of her life with. NK said she cared about Watts and his children and always found the children cute. How could you find them cute and care about them if you never met them? NK said Chris never mentioned getting rid of the kids and always discussed them moving with him when he got a new apartment. NK said this whole case has shocked her and said he lied so much. He lied to everybody. He had everybody fooled. NK went on to state she really believed that Shanann had left and believed that Shanann was just upset. She said when she goes back through everything, she did not see any red flags and she had no idea he was going to kill his family. She recalled thinking how long it would take for his brain to shift to get him to do this. She said he could have done this if she was in his life or not, and thought it could have been her or a coworker who could have been killed too. She said a lot of people will blame her and call her the catalyst. She said it does not compute. Then stated, how can he just say, hey, my family just disappeared and I'm not going to question that. She said Watts was so into his girls and she supported him being with his girls. NK said it made her happy when he was with his children. She said, I legitimately think his cheese was sliding off his cracker long before he met me. I inquired if NK had watched the relationship video posted on the media outlets. She said she had not and said she does not like looking at Watts. NK provided no further information during this interview. And that is the end of her interview. Let's see. Yes, I don't blame you for audio in it, Helen. The pushback on apartments makes me wonder if he was changing his mind about his plan. Yeah, Melinda. Because he knew he didn't need an apartment. He got 4 walls and a toilet now. You got that right, Brandy. She's so shady. Brandy, but he couldn't afford the house. 3 months late again on mortgage due next day. And boyfriends soon. Sounds like she sure implied it. He knew what she meant. Exactly. No, you're not late, Elizabeth. Hey, Anna and Donahue. Welcome, love. Okay, so this next one is CBI was requested to assist Frederick Police Department in a missing persons case homicide. Joshua Rosenberg was identified as being a friend of Chris and Shanann Watts. Joshua lives in Arizona but is moving to Colorado next week. Agent Gilbert interviewed Joshua Rosenberg by phone on 8/24. Joshua is married to Cassie Rosenberg, who was previously interviewed by phone with Agent Galbraith. Cassie works at Lavelle with Thrive, as did Shanann Watts. This is how the Rosenbergs know the Watts. Josh met Chris in person for the first time in Las Vegas for the Thrive in February 2018. Shanann, Cassie, Chris, and Josh had all communicated with one another prior to this Vegas trip. When Josh met Chris in person, they hit it off and started talking. They shared similarities and had things in common. They developed a typical guy friendship. Cassie and Josh and their children stayed at the Watts house at the end of May in 2018, and they were considering moving to Colorado and looking for houses and getting to know the area. The four then went on to a trip to San Diego in June for Thrive. Josh described the relationship between Chris and Shanann as cohesive, normal, and stated they both showed affection for one another. Any moments of disagreements were normal and insignificant. They had the type of relationship most people wanted. They were open and honest in their relationship. No relationship problems were ever mentioned by Chris to Josh. Chris recently started working out more and eating healthier. Chris told Josh that Shanann talked to him about his changed eating habits. Josh assured Chris that Cassie talked to him about that when he changed his diet too. He thought that it was within the last month that Chris started changing his diet. He was eating less carbs and eating clean. Josh estimated that maybe around May 2018, Chris started working out and running more. He and Chris would trade running times to encourage one another. Josh noticed in San Diego in June that Chris was working out harder and there were changes in Chris's physique from it. Josh did not know about any supplements that Chris took, but he knew that he used Thrive and said, "We all do." Josh does not know about the finances of Chris and Shanann. Josh never asked Chris, and Chris never divulged anything about his finances. Josh thought it felt like they were a normal family on a normal budget. I asked what Josh knew about Chris's job. Chris worked in the oil field. He monitored and inspected systems pertaining to the oil fields. He believed Chris worked out in the oil field and did not get the impression that he was in an office. Chris had a work truck that he drove from location to location. Chris did not mention having friends at work. Oh, I bet he didn't. Yeah, I agree. Why'd she even mess with him? I agree, Beverly Wiley. Both of them look like targets. So I'll be right back. I got to see what that noise was. Gage, what was that? Don't call him that, Gage. Be nice. Go watch your shows and leave him alone. Pray, chill out. Stop knocking stuff over. Okay. Tracking macros is common amongst bodybuilders and different diets and all that. Yep. The new age way to lose weight. All right. Now, Josh has last talked to Chris by phone on 8/13. Chris called Josh and told him that he did not know what to do about Shanann and the kids being missing. He told Josh he was lost. Josh encouraged that all anyone could do was make calls and try to figure out what happened. Chris said he felt uneasy. Josh told Chris, "You know how this looks," alluding to the belief that something had gone wrong involving them. Chris acknowledged that and told Josh that he did not know what to do. He said he felt like everyone was mad at him and he did not know who to call. Chris said he did not know how anyone could think he could do it. Josh told Chris that he needed to do everything he could. This phone call from Chris felt different to Josh than a call from the Chris he knew. Josh felt it was like Chris was looking for information, which was not like him. It did not feel like Chris and did not seem like Chris wanted Josh to do anything for him, but more like Chris was trying to find out how Cassie and the friends of Shanann felt. Chris did not seem genuine to Josh. Chris told Josh that he just talked to Nicole Atkinson and said that Shanann had gone to a friend's house. He said that he saw Nicole Atkinson on the doorbell camera of his house. Josh texted Chris on 8/14 to ask for updates. Chris replied that the police were getting the missing person report ready. Josh knew from Cassie and Shanann that there were changes in Chris over the 4 to 5 week prior to Shanann's Arizona trip. There were discussions about divorcing or separating. When Chris was in North Carolina, with Shanann and the kids, Shanann had said he was cold, inattentive, and did not show love. It was not the Chris they knew. I asked about Josh knowing of discussion about separation, divorce between Chris and Shanann. He said that Cassie often FaceTimed him while at the conference, and he often saw the group of girls and chatted with them. On Saturday night, 8/11, Shanann learned of a charge that she was concerned about, given that Chris was supposedly at a Rockies game with his friends from work. Shanann was visibly upset and crying when discussing this in Arizona. Shanann said she did not understand what had changed. She said that she loved Chris and did not know why he did not love her. Shanann said that Chris wanted to separate and move on, saying he could not do this anymore. The group, to include Josh, talked to Shanann about her strength and assured her it would not be the end, as she had kids and a baby on the way. Shanann expressed that she wanted to be strong for her kids and show them that you can get through life and was positive about it. Shanann wanted to at least try counseling for her kids' sake, even if it did not work between her and Chris. So Josh was evidently involved in all the conversations that they were talking about in Arizona because his wife Cassie was FaceTiming him and stuff during it all. Does anyone here think eating a jar of asparagus at a child's birthday party sounds normal? No, not at all. I've never seen a jar of asparagus sitting out at a child's birthday party. You're absolutely right, Melinda. And I just read that earlier, so it is weird. All right, so Josh and Chris had text about the new baby. Chris seemed excited through text. Josh said that he immediately knew something had gone wrong with Shanann and the girls due to the state of the house and his knowledge of Shanann. He knew there was zero chance that Shanann would have left the house like it was and without her phone and medicine for the kids. Josh was aware of an argument in North Carolina that Shanann had with Chris's parents about a kid allergy. He is certain she would have never left the house without those meds. He said those kids were Shanann's everything and she would have never done anything to jeopardize her kids. I asked Josh if he had seen anything about Chris. Statement to law enforcement. Josh heard that Chris claimed Shanann killed the kids. Josh told me that Chris he knew would not have done any of this to begin with. The eye Josh sees on Chris on TV are not the same. They lack sincerity and soul. Josh thinks that someone gave this scenario to Chris as his only shot to possibly avoid the death penalty. Josh suggested Chris is trying to figure out this lie he has created. Josh said that there's no possible scenario for Chris's statement to be accurate. Even if he had told Shanann he wanted a divorce and was cheating on her, Josh insisted that Shanann would have never done anything to her kids. She would choose her kids over Chris 100 times out of 100 if she would have had to. Josh thinks Chris is saying this in an effort to figure out how to cope with what he did. Yep. I agree. And you guys know that everyone says that Shanann either didn't fight back that day because she was given oxys, but then people argue that we haven't seen that in the autopsy report. Nobody's seen there was oxy in her system. Well, we didn't get the whole autopsy report to begin with, or she didn't get oxys in her system. He didn't drug her that morning, and that was just one of his lies that he retracted, and that she didn't fight back because she already knew the girls were dead. You know, maybe she had already seen what he had done to the girls, and remember Bella woke back up supposedly, and that's the shadow that you saw, and she woke back up while he was doing it to Shanann. But maybe his hatred for Shanann is so deep. Maybe he let her see what he had done to the children before he killed her, and that's why she didn't fight back. She had no will to live. her babies were already gone. That's another reason why she wouldn't fight back. So there's three reasons she wouldn't fight back. One being she was too tired, and she was exhausted from not sleeping, the jet lag, the emotions of it all, and she just couldn't, her lupus, but she physically could not, or he was sitting on her to where she couldn't, or the fact that she had seen that her precious babies were dead, and so she didn't want to fight back, or the third one, that she was given the oxy and she really couldn't fight back. So any of those things are possible. I asked Josh if there's any indication that Chris may have been cheating on Shanann. Josh said that he does not believe that Chris would have had an affair on Shanann. He believes that anyone can change their minds on things at any point, and such is simple human nature. He thinks that Chris possibly changed his mind and decided against a relationship with Shanann, but would have told Shanann before seeking out other women. Josh still feels this way about Chris. Wow. Josh told me that he feels like there are two Chris's, the Chris he knew and the Chris he now sees in the media. I asked Josh if he thinks there is anyone else who could have done this. There is no one else who could have done this, in Josh's opinion. Josh shared a scenario that he thinks could have happened. Shanann came home. This is what Josh thinks happened, you guys. Yeah, Shadow could have been Dieter. That's right, Brandy. I'm still on the fence on all of that. I'm on the fence from everything that happened from the time that Shanann walked in the door till Chris backed his truck up. I have no idea what happened in between that. I'm still trying to figure out what happened between 1:48 and 5:45 a.m. in those 4 hours. But this is what Josh thinks happened. And remember, this is before Chris came out with all his confessions. Shanann came home. Shanann and Chris talked. Chris told her he was done. Shanann got emotional and cried. Chris tried to leave. Shanann tried to stop him. An accident happened and then spiraled out of control. There was a commotion that woke the kids. Chris was someone else at this point. Chris had to eliminate the kids as they were witnesses. I tend to lean on this too. Or he killed the kids first. Shanann came home and seen it, and then he killed her. So we all have no idea. None of us do. None of us have any idea. I'm on the fence about the shadows. I'm on the fence about the red car. I'm on the fence about so much stuff, you guys. It's really hard. That's why we're going to go through it all, and then we're going to come together with a good scenario. Not good, none of it's good, but come together with a plausible scenario, and then we'll all just compare what we think. In the end, as soon as we're done reading Discovery, reading My Daddy is a Hero, and combing through the last 4 hours of his Wisconsin interview that we haven't combed. Josh said that this is the only logical scenario, as there's no possible way Shanann could have laid hands on the kids. Shanann lived and worked to make her family life better as a whole. Shanann had said that if he wants to leave, that was fine. She did not want to give up and would try counseling. It was not logical for Josh to believe that Shanann could have done anything to hurt her children, as Chris stated. I asked Josh if he had considered that Chris planned anything like this. Josh said that Chris is a very smart guy, and if he had planned it out, he would not have gotten caught. I asked if it was possible that Chris had not considered that Shanann's friends would have been actively looking for her Monday morning. Josh felt like Chris would have planned for that had he considered, thought about, or planned for more than 2 hours before he did it. Josh feels like Chris did not plan it and that it was in the heat of the moment. Chris knew his truck had GPS in it, and he told Josh about it and did not use it for personal things. Chris knew that Shanann was attached to her phone and that she is the type who responds immediately to text. So Josh was saying that it was a fit of rage and that Chris is lying about it being planned. Yeah, and I have to agree with you too. I think that that's a very strong possibility that he killed the girls after the FaceTime call. And that was the last time he was going to tuck them in because he killed them. But he just put Bella in a deep unconscious sleep, and then she continued to sleep. And if it's true what he says that she woke back up, it was because she wasn't dead. Yes, I think so, Melinda. I think so too. I don't think he kept the girls alive until Shanann got home either. I think that Bella, if it's true that he killed her twice, that Bella woke back up and he wasn't expecting that. And I don't think he lied about planning it. I honestly do think he planned it, but people just couldn't wrap their minds around it, Brandy. This was his friend. This was his ace buku, his guy that he went to on these Thrive things. This is a guy that they compared their running stats and all of that. And he just doesn't want to he's in denial. He doesn't want to wrap his mind around the fact that he was a good friend of a psychopath. And then he grilled some chicken. Yep. So says, I asked Josh knowledge of Chris's mental health. Josh had no concerns. He did not know Chris to see counselors or take medications for mental health matters. Josh described Chris as pretty calm and level-headed. He was not the type to get angry or upset. He was frustrated by normal things such as the gym being too crowded, as in San Diego. It was nothing out of the ordinary to Josh. I asked about their trip to Colorado in May, in which Josh and his family stayed with the Watts. They arrived on a Monday morning and Chris was already at work. They hung out with Shanann and the kids. Chris got home around 3 or 4 o'clock. Yes. He parked outside the street and the truck stayed there. His work truck is a pickup, maroon or brown in color. There was stuff in the back. Chris never parked the truck in the driveway when Josh was there. Josh did not see Chris come from or go to the truck for work or over the weekend. Josh was inside each time. I asked Shanann's mental health, and Josh described her as being a normal woman emotionally. She was loving, open, good, kind, transparent, a giver, a great host, passionate, even keel, extraordinary, loved to make people happy, would not get mad, tried to work problems out, not over exaggerated, no drama. Josh thought Shanann took medications for lupus and fibromyalgia. Josh knew that Shanann had been in a bad relationship with an ex-husband in the past. Things stuck with her and shaped her into being the loving person she was. Oh, he has such good things to say about her. I love it. I don't think both kids were alive either, Peggy. I think it was just Bella, and it was only because she woke back up. Yeah, I agree, Veronica. We're all agreeing on the same thing here. Yep. I don't think it was both girls twice. I think he just went ahead and said that to make it sound good, but I think it was just Bella that he killed twice. Yeah, I pointed out, Melinda, too, that it was pizza for the third time in 24 hours. I pointed out in one of my videos that the babysitter ordered the pizza on Saturday night. He fed them the pizza before the party on Sunday, and then he fed the pizza to them again when Frank called after the party. So Melinda is absolutely right. And we pointed that out in Discovery, um how much those girls got pizza in 24 hours when their last day alive on earth. Chris just gave them pizza on Saturday night. He gave them cold pizza before the party on Sunday, and then again Frank saw him eating it after. My son would eat pizza every day if I would let him. Wouldn't it have been wonderful if that baby had known to keep quiet and wait for her chance to run for help? Then we would have. I know it makes me want to teach my granddaughter to run, no matter what, you know. I want to teach her to call 911 if something's going on. If mommy and daddy are fighting, call 911, run out the door, run to the neighbors if mommy or daddy gets crazy. But then I mean, then what if I create a monster by saying that? So it's really fine line. It's really hard to figure out what the best way to handle something like that is. Thank God that she's only 1 year old and I have a few years. Yeah, that makes sense too, exploring human behavior. I am unsure as well. I can go back and forth. I can go both ways, especially when somebody points out something to make them believe that it was this way. And as soon as you give me some kind of plausible fact, I'm like, ooh, that does make sense. So, um, Josh wanted to reiterate that those close to Chris and Shanann, as he and Cassie were, and knew who Chris and Shanann were, know that Shanann would not have left her things at the house. She was kind, loving, open, and even going through the pain of starting over with Chris, she was still focused on being a better example for her kids. He does not know how anyone could see otherwise. Josh believes that Chris killed the kids too. He thinks something went wrong and spiraled out of control, and he was now lying because he cannot deal with what he did. Cassie came to the phone to provide that she and Josh are moving to Colorado next week and provided their new address in Westminster, Colorado. Cassie also wanted to make sure investigators knew that there was an Amazon Alexa in the Watts house that may have recorded something to aid in the investigation. I assured her that was known and thanked her and encouraged her to reach out with other thoughts or information that comes to her. So I wonder if that Alexa does record distress. Unfortunately, we need to teach them these things because of our society. I agree. Okay, so interview concluded at 10 o'clock. Josh forwarded the screenshots of his text with Chris for this investigation. Review of text between Josh and Chris. On May 29th at 3:42, Josh texts Chris that an application was it. He then congratulated Chris for something. Chris replied, "Thanks, man." He said that he has to make sure he does not do too much lifting in anything. Then they discuss the application process and how long it takes. On June 17th at 7:23, Chris wishes Josh a happy Father's Day and Josh replies the same. On June 22nd and June 23rd, it appears that Josh and Chris are in a hotel with Shanann and Cassie and are chatting about planning and getting food. On 623, 750, Chris says that Shanann will divorce him if he gets food without her, and he would end up like the homeless guy yelling at himself on the street. 624, they chat about the weather and the heat. On July 6th, they joke about Josh applying for a job. And on July 6th at 6:48 Arizona time, Josh asked Chris how the bachelor life was. Chris replied in 1 minute that he was working out a lot, picking up weekend shifts. He said it was going by fast so far. And then it shows a text here that says, that might come, people get hired here, working out a lot, picking up the weekend shifts. Oh, it's just basically what I just read. Okay, good. Josh asks if it feels weird being in the house alone. And Chris replies that he was trying to eat a little cleaner with no kids around. He said it's a little weird, but I've been keeping busy. Oh, I know you've been keeping busy. We all know who's been keeping you busy. Let's see. Yeah, it is almost like a blackout, Jennifer. We don't know nothing about the Alexa Brandy, except that the cops said that it could record distress, but cops are allowed to lie to get confessions. Hi, Patty. Yes, I've had to. Peggy. I've had these talks with my daughter all my life because my stepfather killed my mother as well, and my precious little niece was murdered by her mother-in-law. So I know exactly what you mean, Peggy. It's tough trying to teach children to be trusting yet not to trust. I want my children to have close bonds and not suspect everyone. Yes, that's what the point I was trying to get across. You put it in perfect words for me, Peggy. Yeah, I don't want to create paranoia in them and make it abnormal. Busy and eating jars of asparagus for fun. Cause all that pizza, Melinda. In the last month, he went batshit crazy with his behavior. Yes, I know. Peggy, I'm so sorry for what you've had to explain to them. But my daughter, because my stepfather murdered my mother, and he did what he abused me for 10 years of my life. My daughter was never allowed to spend the night with people ever. And so there's an extreme that you go to. You have to be very careful to not distrust everyone, never allow them to have a normal life. So there you have to find a balance. So hopefully with my granddaughter she won't do the same thing that I did and just never let her spend the night anywhere. Now I would have let her friends spend the night with us, but she wasn't allowed to ever spend the night anywhere because you never know what cousin or uncle, or you never know who's coming in. You can meet the family and then they end up having surprise guests that night. So I just always thought it was unsafe. Who is Chris talking about in this part of Discovery? It wasn't Chris. It was Josh talking about. It was Josh and Chris talking, and Josh giving his interview. And Josh is Cassie's, Shanann's best friend that did Thrive with her husband. And they would all go on these Thrive events together. Cassie and Shanann would be close, and Chris and Josh would be close. They were all Thrive people. Oh, you're sweet, Melinda. Thank you. Okay, so then he asked him if it feels weird being in the house alone, and Chris replied, and then Josh asked Chris if he was excited about the ultrasound. And then Chris didn't reply back until an hour and 30 minutes later. So he didn't, that's not very excited, right? He replied that today was the day at 7 p.m. and that he was excited. Chris said he was secretly hoping it's a boy, and Chris replied, LOL, yeah, me too. And Chris texted about eating cleaner, and Shanann gave him the 3rd degree for him refusing to eat a few things. He said he can see his abs again, and it's working hard to get cut. He said that combining Thrive and eating lean meats is making a big difference. Chris texted that he had come to realize that abs are made in the kitchen. Oh, he's so funny, right? Abs are made in the kitchen, y'all. Okay. Because you guys, these kind of people are mass manipulators. My abuser had everyone convinced that he was the best thing that ever happened to me. My family let my abuser move in with them. Okay? My family let my abuser move in with them. Both of them. My first husband and my second husband. My first husband, they let move in with them because he was a floor guy and they got hardwood floors put in their house through him. And me and him weren't even together and they let him stay with them. And my family let my ex-husband stay with them too because he was lining their pockets, so to speak. So it's just sad. Okay, so Josh texts about waiting patiently. Chris tells him that the envelope is sealed until next weekend. Josh asks if they're going to do a reveal, and Chris replies, "Yes, sir." Josh texts to congratulate Chris. "Congrats, buddy. Little man is a lucky boy." Chris replied, "Thanks, man." So on the 8th, Chris tells Josh that they're going to do a reveal. But by the 10th, you can see that Josh already knows that they had already done their little private reveal, and I guess Cassie had told him that it was a boy. And that was Friday when Cassie and Shanann are going to Arizona. On August 11th, Josh texts Chris asking if he is still awake, and Chris immediately replies that he's heading home from the Rockies game, and Josh asks him to let him know when he's not driving because he has a question. Oops. And then Chris replied, "What's up, bro? Sorry, I passed out once I got home." So this isn't until the next day that Chris replies. Exactly. They're master manipulators, Peggy. Yes, Brandy, you're right. I think they sensed something wasn't right with their dad. Josh replied to ask to make sure Chris was okay with his family being at his house if need be. Josh replied to ask to make sure Chris was okay with his family being at his house if need be. Chris replied that it was cool. Chris asked when Josh thought his family would be moving to Colorado for a job Josh took with True Value. Josh estimated 1 month. Chris texted that the Rocky game was crazy and gave some scoring info Josh said he saw on ESPN and had only been in 2 moments like that. Chris replied, "It was epic." Even though Chris wasn't really there. He Googled the results. He lied like a rug. Okay. This is all the discovery we went through so far. Got to keep it in order in case we need to reference it another day. Another day. Yeah, when Mama tells you things she has gone through, it shows you what a true warrior she is. That's why I love her like I do. Oh, I love you too, Becca. You have been through hell and back yourself, sister, so let's not pretend here. Yes, he lies like a rug. Okay, so next up is at 11:16 Arizona time. Josh texts to ask if Chris has heard from Shanann today because Cassie and Nikki could not get a hold of her. This is on August 13th. Chris replied that he had just talked to Nikki. Chris texted that Shanann went to a friend's house with the kids and he had not heard from her since, but he would keep him updated. And then the next day at almost 6 o'clock, Josh texts for any work and asked how Chris was doing. Chris replied that there was no word. Oh, any word is what they meant. They typed work. Josh texts for any word and asked how Chris was doing. Chris replied that there was no word at all. The cops were getting the missing person report ready. Chris said he was at home sick to his stomach. Oh, yeah, you're so sick. And then it shows the text, the screenshots of everything that we just went over. See, this is the discovery, you guys. Then next, it is going to be on September 5th. I was asked to assist by speaking with Charlotte Nelson. Nelson is a friend of NK, and the two exchanged text messages about the relationship between Kessinger and Chris Watts. I was provided a packet of text messages involving, and it gives her phone number, which I was advised was that of Shanann Watts. All right. Agent Galbraith subsequently reviewed the content. The records are somewhat confusing as some of the correspondence is clearly with, and it gives the phone number, but the other is with another number. However, the content appears to indicate that the person is the same as the one communicating from 720. based upon the conversation flow. The number is Charlotte Nelson. The texting is on 8/12. I'm not certain of the time zone in which the records are formatted. Some of the content is undecipherable based upon the numbers. It is difficult to say for sure if the texts are from Nikki or Charlotte, but the content leads to context and the author. Nikki. Been kind of hanging out with a guy recently, keeping it a secret. Dude loves to eat. Boop. Never met a man who does till now. I just let it happen, LOL. Charlotte said, where did you meet this man? And this is all, you guys, on the 12th. So this is all on that Sunday before his wife came home and before he murdered her. Where did you meet this man? Nikki said, I don't know, man. Sean never did what I just said Chris did to her. Charlotte says, I don't think it's you, man. Some guys are lame with that stuff. Nikki said, feel like every dude I met has kids these days, and if they don't, they have commitment issues or some BS like Sean. Charlotte says, what's the dude's name? Kids are cute. It's a package deal, though. And then she says, that's awesome. NK says, the fact he takes care of his kids is a good thing, I think. Then NK says he's all about his kids. And Charlotte says, that's cool. How old are they? Let's see. Yes, I bet. Melinda, good point. I know, recovering Baptist, but where would she run? The Love truck stop was the closest place there. She would be just stuck out in the middle of nowhere, even if she did run. Oh, it was just so awful. Thank you, Mama Lisa. Good. I'm glad you got to sleep, Chronic Life. You need it. You go to sleep as much as you can. I love you, sister, because you're a survivor. You're a survivor. Chronic Life is in the house, y'all. Surviving and thriving in a bunch of pain, though. Yeah, she was jealous of the girls. I agree. Yep. Welcome, Chronic Life. So Charlotte says, how old is he? And NK says 33, I think. And NK says, I just feel like I will always be second place. Like he's been there, done that. It's early, though. We will see. He is very kind to me, though. And NK says, and he works out, so he's super sexy. NK says, don't tell nobody. I haven't made up my mind yet on him. NK says, like, he seems too good to be true. NK says, haha, yeah, it's the best sex I've ever had. I'm hooked. And NK says, I think he really likes me. On September the 6th at about 4 o'clock, I received a call from Charlotte Nelson. I had left Nelson a message on 9/5 and texted her on 9/6 prior to her call to me. Nelson met Kessinger in high school. They were not as close then as they are now. Nelson moved to Aruba and moved back around 2006, and she and Kessinger got in contact. NK is Charlotte's best friend. They text a lot but do not see each other, but maybe once every month or two. Charlotte knew why I would be contacting her. I asked how this case is sitting with her. She told me it's a horrible situation and it's very upsetting. She is worried about Nicole. Charlotte said that Nicole got caught up with the wrong person at the wrong time and it's just devastating. I asked Charlotte I asked if Charlotte knew that NK had been dating Chris Watts. Charlotte explained that NK was working as a contractor for Anadarko. NK had told Charlotte that she was seeing a guy at work at some point. NK did not say who, and Charlotte never met him. Charlotte saw news about this case and heard that the guy worked at Anadarko, and Charlotte wondered if NK knew the guy. NK then called Charlotte and let her know that the media may try to get in contact with her about the case. Charlotte said that NK said she could not discuss much about the case with her. Charlotte told me that her father died a couple of weeks ago and she had been drinking a lot to deal with things right now. Charlotte said that she looked back and Kessinger had sent her a photo of NK and the guy she was seeing. Charlotte agreed to go back through the text messages and screenshot the communication she had with Kessinger. Okay. Let me just see who is messaging me. Chronic had surgery this Monday and last Monday. Yeah, Chronic is a warrior, an inspiration, a freaking role model for us all. Yeah, she's hurting a lot, you guys, from this last surgery and chopped up. Please be careful, Chronic, and don't overdo it. Yeah, I think she is not as smart as she likes to think she is either. Okay, those were just emails, you guys, so we don't need to worry about that. All right. Now, where were we? NK had told Charlotte that the guy she was seeing had a couple of kids. Charlotte knew Kessinger to like kids, and she seemed in favor of it. Kessinger said he was a really nice guy, and she did not seem to mind that he had kids. It seems like she's been set up to call and say this. It seems like she's saying it too much. She's going over it over and over, you guys, saying she liked kids. She thought it was cool. The kids were cool. She's just saying it too much as if NK put her up to saying, hey, make sure you let them know I like the kids because they're wondering if I thought the kids were a problem. It just sounds so staged. Listen to how much she says. NK had told Charlotte that the guy she was seeing had a couple of kids. Charlotte knew Kessinger to like kids, and she seemed in favor of it. NK said he was a really nice guy, and she did not mind that he had kids. Charlotte said that she did not say much, as she tends to let people live their lives. Charlotte did not think it was a smart of Kessinger to date someone she worked with since she liked her job here. But Charlotte did not tell NK that. So they just say it way too many times. I asked if Kessinger spoke of the guy's marital status to Charlotte, and NK did not at that time. But Kessinger has since told Charlotte that the guy had told NK that he was separated from his wife. NK did not provide Charlotte details of the relationship as to where they spent time, when they spent time, how they spent time, or if they were intimate. She said she did not know and she did not ask. Yeah, right. If you're her best friend, whatever. Charlotte said NK just got out of a relationship and Charlotte just lets her tell her what she wants to share. And Charlotte described NK as private. I told Charlotte that I had some content from text messaging between her and Kessinger. I read the one about it being the best sex Kessinger has ever had and the one about oral sex. Charlotte reminded me that her dad died and she had been drinking heavily. She told me that she actually barely remembers the text with Kessinger. Charlotte told me that NK dates a lot, and in the past, she has not had the best of luck in the men she has dated. So Charlotte typically does not ask about details. Oh, so Kessinger dates a lot, huh? Coming from your best friend. Your very best friend says you date a lot. and that you don't have the best of luck in men. Oh, wow. So she typically does not ask for details because she's tired of hearing about it. Tired of hearing about the flopperoonies. Okay, so we turn that down. I'm tired of that dinging in y'all's ear. Okay. Have no choice but to be careful, and they want to do the next surgery on December 26th, but I put a call in to see if we can move it out a bit. I don't know if my body can take it. Yes, chronic. Very smart choice. You need to heal. You need to heal before you get another surgery. You're not getting another surgery the day after Christmas. If I got to call somebody or say something to somebody, that ain't happening. Tell them they can do it after the first of the year, that you need time. Bless. I can't even believe they want to put you through that. You're fragile right now. Wow. Exactly, Peggy. Thank you. Can I get an amen from what Peggy just said? Hi, Alyssa. Exactly, Brandy. Exactly. So, I asked NK, I asked if NK spoke of the guy's marital status, and Kessinger did not at the time, but Kessinger has since told Nils. Oh, I already read that part. Sorry. Charlotte told me that Kessinger dates a lot in the past, and she has not had the best of luck with men she has dated, so Charlotte typically does not ask about details. I read the following text to Charlotte. Nikki, feel like every dude I meet has kids these days, and if they don't, they have commitment issues or some BS like Sean. I asked Charlotte for some context to that text, as it seemed that a man with kids may be a negative thing based upon the words in the text alone. Charlotte said that she does not think that Kessinger was against him having kids, and Kessinger wants kids too. She has just had bad luck with men in her past. Kessinger wants to find someone, and when she does, it turns out the guy is lying or something. Kessinger seems to take it upon herself and feel like she is picking the wrong guys. Charlotte encourages Kessinger that she will find someone. Charlotte does not think the BS part in the text was meant as negative, in that Kessinger felt the guy having kids was negative. Charlotte did not think that NK actually met the guy's kids. She has no idea when or where NK and the guy hung out together, but Charlotte figured that it was working out. She would hear more about the guy from Kessinger, and Kessinger did not tell Nilsa anything about the guy's wife in their text. Sure. And I mean, even if she went as far as saying, you got to do something about your wife and kids. I'm not trying to be raising no kids. Your wife's going to have to, blah, 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 blah. That makes her guilty too. Like, she pushed him to do it, even if she wasn't there. Hello, hello, hello. And the whole Oxy thing, I mean, she knew that Shanann was having a baby, and she wanted to make sure that she still had her opportunity to give Chris his first son. So I think that she was behind the Oxy. I think she sent the Oxy with Chris to North Carolina to get rid of the baby. And then it didn't work, and Chris started panicking. Chris was like, oh my God, it didn't work. What am I going to do? And Chris's backup plan was to wipe out the whole family. NK was wanting him to take out the baby with the Oxy. So And again, this is all speculation and just another scenario. You guys have heard me give you 1,000 different scenarios. I do not believe in just one right now. Once I hammer down the one that I'm strongly feeling, that will be a while from now. But for now, anything's possible. So any theory is plausible. Anything is possible. We have no idea. Okay, so let's keep going because I really want to jump off here and read this book by Lena Durali. My Daddy is a Hero. All right, so let me just finish up this with Charlotte, this interview with Charlotte, and then I will let you guys go. All right, so I asked about NK, how NK is doing. Charlotte told me that she's a mess and says she cannot say much about the case. Charlotte thinks NK feels partially responsible as maybe he went crazy because NK came into the picture. NK liked the guy. Charlotte thinks NK needs a good therapist. I asked if there is any indication that NK may want to maintain a relationship with the guy. Charlotte said that Kessinger wants to cooperate in the fullest to make sure he stays in jail. I thanked Charlotte for her time and she agreed to send me screenshots of her text with NK. Charlotte promptly got back with me on 9/6 to provide, "Hi, Agent Calbreth. This is Charlotte Nelson. I'm looking through my phone and the latest text messages I have from NK start on August 21st. And we mostly talk about my dad passing away and my family issues, and also that she is concerned with the media. I probably deleted the whole conversation when Nikki asked me to delete pictures we have together on Facebook because the media was calling her friends to get information. I know about the text messages we talked about because yesterday evening I got your voicemail, and when Nikki came over later that night, I told her you had called and that I wanted to verify that it was actually the CBI calling me and not a scammer trying to get information. I asked her why you would be calling me, and she said it could be because of the text we exchanged, and then she showed me. I'm sorry I don't have any messages before that. Would you like me to still send you everything starting August 21st? Also, I left you a voicemail regarding a question I have. My question is if the text messages you have are going to be made public matter. I shared very personal information about mine and my boyfriend's intimate life, and I'm concerned about what will be released. Please let me know or call me for any more questions. I responded, stand by on text from the 21st. Let me consult my partner. Thank you for getting back on the matter. On September the 7th, I attempted to clarify this with Charlotte. I asked her why you would be calling me, and she said it would be because of the text we exchanged, and then she showed me. I texted Charlotte and called her. The phone went straight to voicemail like it was off. On 9/7, Charlotte responded. She showed me the old text messages on her phone the night before last on 9/5 when she was here at my house. We had went to Verizon earlier on the same day so she could get a new phone since the one she had wasn't working well. It must be that the messages were backed up and transferred over to the new phone. Frederick Police Department Detective Baumhover is in possession of the phone of Kessinger's, and potentially the text will exist in it upon execution of a search warrant. Text message packet provided for review. And that is the end of page 637 of Discovery. And we are going to be picking back up. Oh, I can read this page. Created a law enforcement support packet for Christopher Watt's girlfriend, Nicole Kessinger. On 8/15 CBI analysis, Jillian Ganley created a law enforcement support packet for Nicole Kessinger. Kessinger is the girlfriend of Chris Watts. The support packet was created so CBI agents Frederick Police Department detectives and FBI agents could locate and attempt to interview her. I researched criminal and public data sources to determine current address of subject, current contact information, employment history, and criminal history. I completed searches in CCIC, NCIC, TLO, Clear, Lumen, Ztext, CO Courts, Facebook, and Instagram. The information found was forwarded to AIC Kirby Lewis, FBI analysis Liz Dawson, and CBI agent Kevin Kobach, and was further disseminated from there. So we need to Google what a law enforcement support packet is. What is a law enforcement support packet, you guys? This is what they created so they could be able to find her. It says created a law enforcement support packet for Christopher Watt's girlfriend, Nicole Kessinger. And they did this 2 days after the murder on 8/15. And a law enforcement support packet was created for her. I wonder what that is. And they researched criminal and public data. So they did a criminal background on her and looked up public information. And they wanted to determine her current address because she wasn't giving it to them, probably. Her contact information, her employment history, her criminal history. So, they know where she is. Trust me. So I am getting ready to go, you guys. So that just proves I'm going to Google a law enforcement support packet for Colorado to find out what that is and what was created for NK and why. And I am going to start reading my book so I can come on here and give you guys a synopsis. So what I'm going to do with this book is I'm just going to give you little bits and pieces, like how many chapters are in it. Let's see. Hold on a minute. Well, I can't tell the chapters. All right, so there's 21 chapters in it, and so I'll probably come on and I'll do chapters 1 through 4 because I really want you guys to buy this book. It's not some little old lady that decided to write a book for the first time in her life. She's got a huge bibliography on the back, and so you can look up her research and her work. She did a lot of research. She did a lot of hard work on this, and I just want to explain the professional that we are dealing with here compared to Sherilyn Cadle, you guys. Sherilyn Cadle was just somebody's grandma that didn't really have any kind of credentials or anything for that matter. She'd only written for Reader's Digest, her local newspaper, and so now she's running out there and getting a Patrick Frazee book when this book was horrible. The editing was horrible. It jumped around. It didn't flow. It didn't make no sense. It was just horrible. So what I'm going to do with this book is I don't want to give you guys a chapter by chapter detail because then you won't go out and buy the book. I want you to buy the book on Amazon. It's only $15.99. You can get it on audiobook too. I want to go over it with you guys. I want to know what you think about it. But her name is Lena Durali. And I don't know if that's how you say it. Might be Durhali. But she is a licensed psychotherapist, you guys. She is certified in Imago relationship therapy. She specializes in relationships and sees individuals and couples with a variety of issues. She has published numerous articles in the Washington Post and the Huffington Post. She has also been interviewed for a variety of publications as an expert, including Self Magazine and Glamour Magazine. She is the co-host of a psychology podcast, Sessions with Bob and Lena, and is a public speaker. In her spare time, when she is not spending time with her family and friends, she enjoys being a clinical instructor in the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Science at the George Washington School of Medicine, where she mentors medical students and she mentors them on their bedside manner, you guys. Isn't that awesome? And she is also very passionate about raising money money and awareness for children with trauma who have been afflicted by war. Lena lives in Washington, D.C. with her husband and her children. And so there's the bibliography, you guys, goes just back and back and back. There's so many references to where she got her information. And so I want you guys to get this book. So I'm definitely not going to do a chapter by chapter review, but I will read like chapters 1 through 4 and then come on here and break it down for you and let you know why you should get the book and what you are missing out by not getting the book. And again, the Rarity nail strips have been restocked, you guys. So go ahead and check those out. My website is below. I don't know if all the Christmas nails have been restocked, but I do know that some of the other nails that are in the regular shopping carts have been restocked. If you are wondering what Rarity nail strips are, that's these $5 a pack. They're just like our competitors that start with CS, except ours are only $5 a pack, and ours come with 2 extra strips, and ours come with a cuticle pusher as well as the file and the alcohol prep pad. They come with 18 double-ended strips instead of 16, and so you can get 2 manicures and a pedicure out of 1 pack, and they're always buy 8 and get your 9th one for free, but you got to make sure to put that 9th set in the cart or they won't know to give it to you for free. So it's buy 8 and the 9th one is free, so make sure you got 9 sets in your cart or one will not show up for 0. Also, my PayPal is down below. Unfortunately, I got my timing belt fixed and I did not need that fixed right away. And now I am struggling to get the money for the oil pump, which needed to be fixed. Had the dude fixed the oil pump, I would be in good shape and I could have got my timing belt fixed after the first of the year. Granted, the timing belt is almost 20 years old, so it needed to be done, but it wasn't imperative for the car to run. And so if you want to help donate to my car fund, my PayPal link is down below. I would never even be asking if it wasn't right before Christmas, and I'm freaking out a little bit. But I have always been provided for. I am a child of God, and I know that He looks out for me, or I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So I just want to say, please don't let that stress you out, and don't give any money if you don't have it. And if you got your own family members to worry about for Christmas, you do that first. Don't you dare donate any money to me if you need to take care of your own family. So just know that I'm going to be here on Christmas for you guys. I still haven't got paid from YouTube. If anybody knows how that works, it would help me out a lot if I knew when I was going to get paid. I got monetized. My channel started to get monetized on November the 14th. And so for the month of November, I cleared like $190, but I haven't gotten that yet. So I don't know how. I went to Google AdSense. It keeps saying 0 balance. Do you guys know what day of the month that YouTube pays for the previous month? If anybody knows that, please reach out to me. And here is my email address if you know what's up with. I met the threshold, but I have yet to get paid from my YouTube channel, not $1. That's why I ended up putting my PayPal in there, you guys, because I get that right away and I can use that money right away when you send it to my PayPal. But when you do Super Chat, I haven't received any of my Super Chat money that you guys gave me. And it was almost $400 that you guys gave me in the month of November. And I only got 200 of it because Super Chat took almost half. So that's why I put the PayPal down below. But again, if you want to get some great stocking stuffers, these nails, you guys, there are over 200 different sets to choose from. I mean, lots and lots of nails. And just go to that link down below this video and it will help me out tremendously. Remember, I do not monetize any of my true crime videos. I do not put ads on the discovery reading. So this channel does not make me a lot of money, you guys. So I'm not here to make money, but I just wanted to let you guys know that when I do my pop-up shops and when I put my links down below and I talk about these things, it's because that's the only way I can make money. I am a stay-at-home mom that homeschools my son, and so I have to network these things because I don't make money off of YouTube like that. I don't put ads on my true crime stuff because I just don't feel it's fair to make money off of other people dying. It's just wrong to me personally. So, thank you guys for listening to me ramble forever. Do you have an Amazon store so we could order from there? No, but I have a website that you can order from there, Jaredon. It's underneath this video. Just click the more information underneath this video, Jaredon, and you can go right to my website and buy from there, and it will be mailed directly to you. Do not have anything on Amazon. I think I have to hit 10,000 subscribers before I can even get merch from Teespring. I tried to do merch from Teespring and it doesn't look like it's going to let me do it. So after the first of the year, you guys, I'm going to make this huge bulk order for Hey Girl Hey sweatshirts and Hey Boy Hey sweatshirts and t-shirts. So I will be talking to you more about that and how much it costs. I want to make them affordable, so I'm not going to make an arm and a leg off of them. I'll probably end up ordering them from somewhere and just getting pre-orders and then mailing them out to you because you guys know you can trust me. So, I also do, can we order through Amazon? Why would you order through Amazon? I don't understand, Jaredon. No, it's a website. I don't want to have an Amazon store. Are you talking about the nails? They're $5 a pack, and I don't think you're allowed to sell them on places like that. Because if I sold them on Amazon, I would be stealing other people's customers. It's direct sales. So I don't think that would be fair to be selling on Amazon. I wish we could order the book and some of the money could go to you. That would be cool. Yeah. But it's okay. I want you guys to have the book because this book, if you even thought about buying Sherilyn Cadle's book, then this book blows that other book out the water. This is very informative, educational, and will actually leave us, after reading it, I'm hoping, feeling like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, bye, Jaredon. Deuces. I'm sick of it. And that's how you, and that's all it takes, you guys. That's all it takes to get blocked on my channel. So if that bothers you, if you feel like that's too mean or too tough, then then this is not the place for you. Don't ask me 3 times if you can buy something from an Amazon store or blah 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 because you're just getting on my nerves and you just got to go. So that's it. Long story short. I answered the no, I do not have an Amazon store. Peggy. Why is everyone asking me that? I don't understand where that came from. What are the packages hanging on the wall? Those are the nail strips that you can order from the website link below. And I sell these in my pop-up shops. They're $5 a pack, you guys. And no, I do not have an Amazon store. At least you used to be able to. If you have a Kindle, you can borrow books from people so you wouldn't have to buy them. Yes, if you pay that money for Kindle, you guys, if you pay that monthly fee to get as many books as you want, you get to read the book for free. So if you, the author said that on Scott Reich's channel. She said, oh, my picture of my dad's not showing. She said that if you pay that monthly unlimited access fee for Kindle, that the book is free to you. So you guys can go to get that right now. Exactly, Ashley Rose. Thank you. Oh, if we could, oh yeah, like use my code, Peggy, where they say get 10% off and use my code. That's when people get sponsored by products and all of that. They get sponsorships. But because I already my videos are sponsored by my own work and my own nails, I doubt that I'll get any of those sponsorships. They don't really want to interlude the businesses. Like I'm not even allowed, I just found out I'm not even allowed to share my Mary Kay website if I share Rarity's website. Mary Kay does not let me do videos that have any other affiliation of any other company in them. So I can't put my Mary Kay link down below unless I'm doing a Mary Kay tutorial, and I have to use all Mary Kay, and I can't post any other links with it. So that's that. Yes. Yes, Rambling Ruthie, I did a whole video on that. I did a whole video on the oxygen special. I did it Saturday right after it went off. Yeah, I knew what you meant, Peggy. Not my nails. I'm not talking about my nails. I'm talking about sponsorships through Amazon. But I don't want to open up an Amazon store. I already run my Mama Beauty's Rarity Nails website. I run my Mary Kay website. I run my YouTube channel. I run my son's homeschool website. I have to keep track of my PayPal. I have to keep track of my Gmail because people are emailing me every day. Then I got to find time to clean the house, feed the dogs, do the laundry. And so there's just not enough time in the day. Ivy Lou, I heard Scott Reich answer your question last night. I happened to be watching one of his videos and he made a video to answer one of your questions. That was so awesome. Yay, Tristan. I'm glad you got your nails. Yes, and the stuff up on the wall here, I will do in a pop-up shop on Friday night. We will do a pop-up shop, and you can buy any of the ones that I have here for $5. And then also I have this whole, that's all my jewelry right there, you guys. So you can buy any of those for $3. And I will show you every bit of it on my pop-up shop on Friday. Okay? So no worries. There's nothing over $5 in my pop-up shop, and you can get everything mailed to you for $3. Yes, Peggy, you get it, girl. So if I'm like going overboard with my time on YouTube, then my son's homeschool is usually the thing that's lacking, and we end up having to scrape and scramble on Saturday and Sunday to get it done. Yes, he did, girl. He pulled your name and made a video. I loved it. I was like, that's my girl. Yes. It was awesome. Ivy, did you get the book? I'm glad you love them, Ann. Aren't they so easy to put on? Tammy broke my heart too, crying. When she cried, I cried. I cried with her. It was sad. Yes, and you can order from the website. You don't have to order from my pop-up shop if you don't want to. If you guys don't want to wait till Friday to see the inventory that I have, then you can order from the link down below this video and have it sent directly to you. I hated his answer too. I did. I hated his answer so much. Unfortunately, with the Mary Kay pop-up, I would have to buy the inventory ahead of time, and I just don't have the money to do that. But I can give you my Mary Kay website so you could go check it out. Tristan, here you go. that is it. www.marykay.com/days. And if any of you guys are trying to get into my nail group on Facebook, disregard it. I've archived that group. I ran that group for a year, and all people wanted in that group was for free stuff. They wanted free nails, free whatever they could get their hands on. And so I archived that group. You guys have actually supported me more in the last 2 months with my nail and my nails and my website than anyone ever has on Facebook for the last year. So we archived Facebook. We're not worrying about Facebook no more. I barely even go there. So I never heard about the shell casings, but I'm sure we will run into that in Discovery. We haven't even made it halfway through Discovery. Yay, and you can get the earrings on Friday when I do a pop-up shop. Probably going to do it around 8 p.m. Friday at 8 p.m. All right, you guys. Well, I guess I'm going to jump off here so I can get ready to read this book. I will check my email for those of you that might have emailed me earlier in the day. I'm going to check my email and respond to everybody before I cuddle up on the couch and get into that book. But again, if you guys want, hopefully my car will be ready tomorrow. They did say it was 6.5 hours of labor. But again, if you want to help contribute to that, I know it's Christmas time. And so if nobody can contribute, that's totally fine. Trust me, I get it. But my PayPal link is down below. And if you can contribute by buying some nails for gifts for people's stockings or under the tree, then that will help me tremendously as well. So both of those links are down below. Remember, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. This is a place where you are safe and we do not get crazy with conspiracy here. So, forgot what I was going to say. Oh, well, that happens when you turn 41. But thanks you guys for watching my channel, and email me if you need me. And I am ready to get into this book. And I may even stay up all night and read it all. But thank you guys so much. Mama Beauty loves you. Remember, I'm only an email away if you need me. Also, all parties are innocent until proven guilty. We are only talking for entertainment purposes here only. I know it's sick to say that when we're talking about something so grotesque, but we have to say that so I don't get in trouble. So we aren't like people don't think it's a witch hunt. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Oh, and you guys brighten my day too. Stephanie, hit the rewind. You don't think what worked? Madonna. The link, if I put it in the chat, it won't be a link. But you can go underneath some of my older videos, and there is a Mary Kay link underneath there. Before I found out that I wasn't supposed to put them together, I was putting them under my videos. So you can go find a Mary Kay link of mine. And the picture will be black and white. It is a, here, let me show you guys. Because I've had someone say that my Mary Kay link did not look like me. And so I want to show you guys the picture that's going to pop up on my Mary Kay link. And then I'll show you guys a picture of my son. So this is the picture of me on my Mary Kay link, you guys. These are my pinup pictures. Okay. So that picture is on my Mary Kay link. So don't say that it's not me. And then I want to show y'all a picture of my son that just turned 15 today. He looks just like his mama. He's doing something weird with his mouth, but that is my 15-year-old. You know how the world is. There's a picture of his Abshire lips. Looks like me. This is my birthday, boys. So I'll talk to you guys later. Yes, it was me. Yes, I did, sister. I'm so sorry I haven't had time to get back to you, but yes, that was me. Thank you, love, for letting me know that people thought that it wasn't me. I used to have blonde hair, but I got tired of the bleach frying out my gray hair already. So, yes, his birthday's today. He turned 15 years old. And my son in law has a birthday in just a few days. So, I mean, December has been just wonderful for me. I'm going to be broke come January because not only did my car blow out on me, I've got my son-in-law's birthday, my son's birthday, everybody's Christmas. So, but that's not the reason for the season, you guys. So keep up that positive attitude. It's going to get better, and there's always next year, right? I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. End broadcast.